hi everyone. So now we are going to be officially starting the part 2 of our physical well-being for our healthy diet by Nazira Izzaty from InBody. So she's here with us right now. Hi, I hope you're doing well. So everyone in the chat box
Hi.
or perhaps as a reaction, you guys can give some sort of applause to her to welcome Miss Nazira to joining us today. You may go.
Hi
You may
everyone.
proceed.
Have you? Okay. So many clapping hands. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Can hear my voice?
Can.
Okay. So may I start? All right. Okay. So a very good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Thank you to PMCare for collaborating with InBody. So actually, my name is, as introduced by PMCare, my name is Nazira. And I am the clinical team of InBody. So InBody is actually a company which we specialize in a body composition analyzer. Okay, so let me share my screen. I hope everyone already have your lunch. So once you go through my slides, you won't be hungry. Okay, so can you see my screen? Is it clear?
Can.
Okay, great. So the topic that was given to me and InBody is actually related to nutrition and healthy diets. And when we're talking about nutrition and health, why actually we should take care of our health, right? So, and how should we manage our health? How should we start managing our health? Okay. So there's like a big why. So why is health is very important to us because health is is one thing that given by God, and we should be care of our body, and we should actually care about our health as well. Okay, and if we're talking about the situation in Malaysia right now, okay, I think some of you may aware that Malaysia is actually half of Malaysians, around 50% of Malaysians actually have classified as overweight and obese, right? So overweight and obese means that you are having a height body weight relatively comparing to your height. Okay, and this survey is actually based on National Health Morbidity Survey around 2 to 3 years ago. I think by now, um, it should be like increasing a little bit of the number of percentage. All right. And besides that, if we're talking about a bit more detail about the cholesterol level of Malaysian, so I'm not sure if you're aware about this, but in 10 people, 4 is actually having high cholesterol level. So the question is, did you check your cholesterol level regularly? If not, try to go and check. I mean, like do a monthly check at the pharmacy. I think that's not be quite expensive to check at the pharmacy. So you can check whether your cholesterol level is okay or not, because it's quite scary. Because like almost half, 40% of Malaysians actually having high cholesterol. So we should care about our health, right? And besides that, diabetes level. So for diabetes, around 20% of Malaysians is actually having diabetes, and Malaysia is actually among the highest ranking in the diabetes prevalence. So because right now we have like a lot of boba, different type of brands for boba, and we have like so many sweet foods and beverages that very delicious in Malaysia. So care about your sugar as well, because all this will actually increase the chances of you to get chronic diseases like diabetes, like heart disease, those kind of chronic diseases. Okay. And hypertension or high blood sugar or tekanan darah tinggi. Okay. So in 10 people, 3 of them will actually having hypertension. So if you have like 10 friends among your colleagues, so 3 of them may have hypertension. And do you know that for 30% of Malaysian, half of them doesn't know that they have hypertension. So that's very scary, because they only know that they have hypertension when they go and already like a late stage, or they have those that is, oh, I have hypertension, they are not aware that they do have those conditions. So please care about your health and please do regular checkup and health screening to check whether that you have like this kind of diseases or not, or risk of diseases. Okay. All this is actually we call as a non-communicable disease, okay, which is not affected by any like a virus or so on. It's maybe because of your lifestyle, genetics, or other than that, okay. And just sharing with all of you here. So there is one survey that was conducted like few years ago among a few companies in Malaysia that involve around 17,000 employees. So from this health survey, they actually come out with a report. So there are a few things that I would like to highlight in this report, which is being conducted among companies or workplace. Okay, which is the prevalence is almost the same as the national Malaysia prevalence, which is 42% of the employee that joined this survey. Actually, they do have overweight and being classified as overweight and obese, right? And besides that, 30% of the employees that join this survey will have one or more chronic conditions like kidney disease, buah pinggang, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, or so on, which is classified as a chronic diseases. And if we're talking about like now in this era of a pandemic, endemic, you know, being people with the with the chronic diseases, they are more vulnerable to get COVID, all right, because they have a low immune system compared to those who are healthy. Okay, and even though you are healthy, you may also get the chance to be infected by COVID, right? But maybe the chances of the severity may not be as high as those with the chronic diseases. So please take care of yourself and please ensure that you are maintaining a good health and wellness before, to be ready in this, with this kind of a virus. So we don't know, right? In the future, we may have like another virus that we should, living with, right? COVID right now, okay? So breaking news for today, I think some of you have seen the number today. So I think this is just being released around lunch hour just now. So this is the number of COVID for today, which is 11,000 cases. All right, I'm not sure is it going to increase or maybe it will increase. So what will be our next steps is actually we should prepare ourselves to be healthy so that we won't get infected, or even if we get infected, it won't be like severe. Okay, so all right. So how should we prepare ourselves, right? So because the topic of today for this session, that I should share, but for today is related to the personal health management. Okay, so I want to talk so much about like so detailed, but I'm going to give like some tips on how you may start to aware about your health. So the first thing is related to your food intakes or your dietary intakes, right? Which is start to practice eating healthily, right? And second, practice exercise. So if you haven't started any exercise or you feel like busy with works, you may start slowly with like weekends, and then you may like increasing the frequency like 3 times to 4 times a week. So at least you do something so that your body is actually moving around. And next, the component which is try to avoid stress, overstress. Stress is actually good for our health because it's like activate your body, but being overstressed is actually damaging your own body, right? And the fourth one is sleep. Okay, make sure you have enough sleep, right? So if you want to know how much hour of sleep that an adult should have, you should wait until the last components that I will share after this, right? So let's start with the first component, which is related to your diets or nutrition intake. So if we're talking about like diets, right, nutritions, most of us will like, oh, Ira, I want to start eating healthily, but it always stop halfway. Or maybe like you already started a week, then your friend asks you to go out. Oh, let's go, like Farah, let's go to having like some cafe hopping, you know, those kind of things. So I tend to be demotivated if I don't have the support from my friends and families. So Actually, it doesn't really mean that you should cut down totally your sugar intakes. Ice cream, cakes, fast food once you are determined to start dieting or eating healthily. The thing is that you should know is how you should eating right. How should I apply the eating right, you know? Okay, so what is the eating right means? So there are actually three components in eating right, which is the first one is being balanced, right? So practice balance in your daily food selections. So if let's say you are taking like sweet beverages or foods, make sure you are also taking in like vegetables, fruits, carbohydrates and proteins, right? So you'll be balanced among all the food groups, right? And make sure you are actually it's not really counting on the calories, but being moderate on the portions, right? Careful on the portion intakes, right? Because sometimes, especially male, they like to eat like 4 to 5 scoop of rice, right? Eating rice is not harmful. Eating rice is not bad, but the thing is how many portion of rice that you take, right? So that's the things which is being moderate in terms of your portions and your food selections. Okay, and make sure you choose a variety of food from each food groups. Okay, I think all of you know about the Malaysian food pyramids. We have 5 categories, so make sure you take every food group so that you because all the food groups actually having different purpose. I mean like different nutrients. So if you just pro on certain food group, like you just take like protein, then you won't get the benefit from like carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, or even fat. Fat is also giving us some beneficial effects to the body. Okay, so being variety, choose variety of foods for every meal. Okay, so before I proceed further, so I think some of you also understand or have ever heard about these things, which is related to the energy balance. So everything that happening our daily, like you are eating is actually called as energy in. So you're giving out energy to your body, okay? So which is taking the food, you are consuming the food, right? And besides that, you are also releasing the energy, which also called as energy expense or expenditure. So such as you are doing some activities, and without you also do activities, you also need to you will also burn some calorie by the body metabolisms, right? So if you want to maintain your current body weight, so you should make sure that the energy intake just now, which is the food, and also the energy expenses is balanced. So by this, you will you will maintain your body weight, right? And if what happens if there is an energy imbalance? So imbalance means that one section is heavier than another sections, right? Such as if you are actually eating more than you are exercising or your metabolism rate, then you may gain fat or weight, all right? And in another good situations, or not really good, right? Which is you are actually exercising more than you are eating. So if those who are wanted to losing your weight and fat, so actually you need to make sure your energy out is more than the energy intakes. Okay. So the next question. Okay, so this is quite frequent questions that I got, which is the people want to know how much calorie that they should take in a day, right? Because different people will actually have different calorie recommendations. Calorie is the intake of the foods, right? So how much actually we should take? So actually, if you want to have a individualized, customized calorie intakes, I think you may actually reach out to nutritionists or dietitians so that they will calculate based on your needs and based on your body conditions, right? But roughly, I will just share. This is actually a recommendations guideline by formulations. So for female, it will be around 1,006 to 1,800 calories, and for male, it will be around 1,800 to 2,100 calories. So if you are working like in the constructions or you are working, I mean like your work intensity is high, so maybe you will need more calories or else you won't get energy, right? And this is actually the intake for a day. So starting from you wake up, okay, from sleep in the morning until you sleep again. So this is the calorie amount that you should take. So I think nowadays there's like a lot of apps, online apps, nutrition apps that will also help you to calculate your calories. So I think you may actually browsing around what is the suitable or the nutrition apps that you want to opt to, so that you can also monitor your calorie throughout the day. Okay. So the next question is now you know, okay, let's say you know that you need to consume 1,800 calories. Okay, you already got your calorie intake for a day. Then how should you distribute these calories so that you won't be increasing your weight, and make sure you are having adequate energy throughout the day. So this is just example, but you may actually customize your own calories so that you won't exceed the maximum calorie that was set to you. So for example, like breakfast, you may take around 500 calories. So 500 calories will be like around one plate of nasi lemak, and also can be like few pieces of kueh. Okay, 500 calories. If you are not sure about the calories amount in the food, you may also install any food apps so that it will also tell you about how many calories in the food. And snacking, because sometimes some people like their breakfast around 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and their lunch hour around 1 p.m. So around that time, maybe your glucose level will start to reducing, so you feel hungry again. So you may take the snacking, but make sure that is not a heavy snacking. Just a snacking like a fruit. Usually a fruits will be like 100 calories. Or maybe like nuts, like kacang. You can also take those snacking so that you can like energize again while waiting for the lunch hour. Okay, and during the lunch, you may take again you may eating again. I mean like a heavier meal than snacking, right? And dinner. And if you have you still hungry before you sleep, like 2 to 3 hours before you sleep, you can take a supper like a meal or even like fruits again. Okay, it depends on what your food preference is. It doesn't mean that if you want to be healthier, you need to change totally your diet. You can start small, such as practicing of fruits or like cutting down the portions. Okay. All right. So let's say you want to lose your body weight and body fat, right? Do you know that if you want to lose half kilo of body fat, you need to burn 3,500 calories per week, right? So if you're planning like you are having like your wedding, or you are actually like having like some occasions, and you determine like, okay, I want to lose my weight, right? So you can start like months before, and if you can plan out for a week, you need to burn you need to burn extra 3,500 calories, right? So you can actually spread into few days, 7 days. So it will be around 500 calories per day. So if let's say I give you example just now, if you are someone who need 1,800 calories, then you can actually deduct around 400 to 500 calories from 1,008, and it will be like 13 to 14. Okay. So by that, you may achieve the weight reductions or fat reductions, right? The calorie reduction could be from your food, from your diets, which means you cut down your portions, all right, your food intake than usual. Or maybe you can start practicing a more high intensity exercise, right? So combining these both, you actually may get to lose your weight in like based on your target, all right? So the thing is, you need to set your target. So when you want to achieve that weight or to achieve that amount of body fat at specific times, okay? So as I'm talking about the diets, I think we are also aware of some types of common type of diets that we often heard from the social media, from our friends or families that also practicing these kind of diets. I think the next session will talk more about the keto diets. So just briefly about this diet is keto is actually where you are restricting your carbohydrates and you are more focusing on the protein and the fat. But for keto diets, it's not really suitable. You may practice it, but it's not suitable for everyone's, right? Especially if you are having like a certain conditions, like you are have diabetes, which you need energy from the glucose, you need glucose, or pregnancy. You know, pregnant mom should have a sufficient amount of nutrients for the mom and the baby. And nursing mom, you should also have adequate amount of carbs and kidney damage. Okay, if you're having a kidney damage, high of protein diets may not be suitable for you. Okay, and the next diet which we often heard is the Atkin Diet. I think this is also quite famous, which is eating as much as protein that you want and fat as you want, but try to avoid food with the high carbohydrates. Okay, so which is this diet will actually limit the carbohydrates like bread, rice, okay, potatoes. And in this kind of diets, it will actually increase the burn of fat instead of sugar for the fuel. Okay. Next one is intermittent fasting. So IF. Intermittent fasting is not really related to the food types, but it's actually related to the time of eating. Because some people is actually having IF for 16:8, or like someone 18:6. 18 is fasting window, 6 is eating, right? But for intermittent fasting, if you are someone who have like a certain condition, also you are not suitable for this because let's say if you are a nursing mom, pregnant mom, if you're having some diseases, you need to have a constant, like continuous food sugar so that your body will function. And yeah. Okay, for IF is that if you are practicing IF, let's say you are practicing IF for like fasting for 16 hours, and then for the rest of eating, which is 8 hours, you are eating still not eating healthy, then there's no point if you are doing the IF. Okay, the main concern of IF is actually want to control the things that you are eating, the amount of food that you are eating. Okay. Okay, and supplements. I also got like some addition quite frequent questions relating supplements. Like they will ask me, okay, Ira, can I take supplements as a shortcut to lose weight? So my advice as a nutritionist is that try to go to the not really traditional, the methods, the healthier method first before you want to opt for supplements. Unless you get the recommendations by health professional, then you may get that supplements, right? So the best way if you want to lose weight and fat is by follow a healthy eating patterns, right? Which is just now balance, moderate, and variety. And you may also try to cut down slowly your calorie intake, right? So one of the things that you may do is actually calorie deficient, which is you try to reduce your calorie, right? And by that, it may also help you to lose your weight. Or and also try do more exercise, start to do exercise because most of the people that I met, they want to lose the body weight, but they are not keeping up some portion for the exercise. They only focus on the food, on the diet. But actually 70% come, if you're losing weight, 70% comes from the diet and 30% come from exercise. If you are doing the diet alone, it won't sufficient for you to lose your body weight. Okay. So when we're talking about the healthy diets, all right, so I will share a few tips on how you can choose what is the interest of every food components. So the first thing you can apply just now, BMV, balance, moderate, and variety for a healthier diet. And second thing is applying the pyramid makanan Malaysia, okay, food pyramid Malaysia, right? So this one is the latest food pyramid released by KKM. Okay, so in this new food pyramid, you may see that the lowest group, which is you need to take in a high amount, is the fruits and vegetables, followed by the carbohydrates like rice, noodle, kway teow, crackers, potatoes, corn. All these fall under the under the carbohydrates, right? And the third group is taking the protein intake, all right? Protein like meat, chickens, fish, yeah, nuts also, and the proteins. And try to limit the top one is actually the groups that you should limit, which is sugary foods, fats, yeah, those kind of things that should be limit. Okay, it doesn't mean that you cannot take at all, but try to limit as much as you can. Okay, and another campaigns that provided by the KKM, which we nutritionists, dietitians actually like advocate the public is the suku separuh. Try to follow the suku separuh. You don't have to you don't have to torture your body by not eating everything. I mean, like those kind of how to say, the sweet things, everything. You can still take it, but you may actually practicing the suku separuh. Okay, so which is half of your meal plate should be from the veggie and the fruits. Quarter for the carbohydrates. All right, carbohydrates you may also take like rice, white rice. If you can take brown rice, if you have extra allocations for the fruits, you can take brown rice. And yeah, anything that fall under the carbohydrates. And make sure you also take protein for every meals. Right. So I will tell you why protein is very important after this. Okay, and this is example of healthy plates for the applying the suku separuh. So I think everyone loves to eat nasi lemak. So nasi lemak is not that bad if you want to eat. Nasi lemak is one of the healthy, how this is quite variety. You have nuts, you have anchovies, you have the rice, you have the timons, everything, right? But what we can do is actually the normal nasi lemak that we have, which is the rice, telur, egg, maybe like half egg. Maybe you can add up more cucumber, or even like you can add some other option for the vegetables and try to take fruits, right? I think by this around 500 calories, you can actually complete your breakfast calories. Okay, and chapati, if you love to eat chapati, no worries, you can still eat chapati, but make sure you also take like vegetables or fruits and fruits together with the chapati. And you may also take like bread, normal breakfast, like bread, baked beans, egg, right? You can take it, but please add on like tomatoes or any kind of a veggie that you like it, right? So all this is actually related to the adding more vegetables and fruits. You can still take those fruits like nasi lemak, right? Mee gorengs, but make sure you add selection of veggie and fruits, and try to change the beverage into a less sugar drinks. So if let's say you are someone who like how to say tea with the sugar, let's say previously you put 3 teaspoon of sugar, so try to reduce to 2 teaspoon or 1 teaspoon of sugar. So try to make your beverages or your drinks less sugar. Okay, do you know that actually in one day we should only take 10 teaspoon of sugar? 10 teaspoon. So if let's say you already take 3 teaspoon of sugar for your tea, then you are having 7 teaspoon, and then 7 teaspoon for the rest of the day. So that's why some people is actually having, like, if they don't control the sugar, they are having the diabetes, they are gaining the weight. Okay. And if you are a wife or mother, so we are the one that actually preparing the food for our families, right? So you may also practicing the healthy plates in the cooking version. So you are preparing like, let's say, mee hoon soup, and you can actually separate the portion according to the suku separuh plate, and you apply for your cooking. So with this, not only you will be healthy, but your whole family will be healthier. Okay. And if you are also someone who cook for your family, try to choose a healthier ways of cooking. So I think right now it's quite popular to use like air fryer. It make our job easier, and it's actually less. We will actually be less oily, all right, instead of deep fried. Okay, let's say you want to fry your fries, right? Okay, you can eat your fries, but maybe you choose an air fryer instead of a deep fry. Okay, so try to opt for a more healthier way of cooking. All right. And some of other questions like tips also that oftenly rise. I oftenly heard that my friends who want to start dieting, they will cut down totally their rice. They say that, okay, I don't want to eat my rice, I'm dieting tonight. It's actually I would say that if you are cutting down totally the rice, is not a good options, right? Because your brain actually need sugar. I mean, like, need carbohydrates, sugar, so that it can function. If you are limiting the sugar intakes, I mean the carbohydrates, it will actually burdening your body and also your health. Okay, try to still taking the food. I mean, like any type of food like rice or noodles, right? But keep the portion small if you are going for dieting, because if any fruits actually can cause the weight gain, it matters of how much you are eating on the portion size. Okay, so if we're talking about the cups, rice, everything, so right, yeah, it doesn't mean that you can't take it. You can still take it, but the best option is for you to choose the healthier versions, the healthier options, right? So for carbohydrates, we have two groups, which is simple carbohydrates like your white bread, rice, pasta, sugary foods. All this is considered as a simple carbs. And we also have the second contradict group, which is a complex carb. Complex carb is those food with the high fiber or like grains, vegetable, fruits, right? So what are the difference between these two groups, all right? So if I give you a situations, okay, you are eating your donuts, okay, donuts with a high sugar intake, right? Okay, it will actually giving you energy, sugar, right? It will actually increasing the sugar level inside your body, but it will also reducing the energy level very fast. Okay, so if let's say you are taking donuts, you may feel hungry a lot. You will feel hungry faster compared to people who are taking like whole grains or like complex carbs, right? Okay, so the thing is complex carbohydrates like potatoes, like whole grains, bread, if you opt for that, it will actually keep your body full for a longer time so that you won't actually eating so many, I mean like the frequency of eating is increasing. Okay, if you feel hungry, you will tend to eat it, right? So, but if you are taking like complex carb like grains, it will actually make your body full longer. Okay. So, next question, why you should take fruit and vegetable every day? So, I'm not sure about the participants for today, but most of the people that I met, I mean like adults also not really taking vegetables and fruit every day. I'm not sure why. Maybe because you feel that you already like you feel like, oh, I don't have time to like eat fruits and veggie. I mean like I just opt for like normal rice and the chickens and that's it. That's enough for me. But fruit and vegetable is, as you can see, the food pyramid just now is the groups that you should be taking the highest compared to other food groups, right? For vegetable, you should take around 3 servings. So one serving or maybe around 1 cup, okay? And for fruits, you should take 2 servings. So one serving will be like around 1 apple, 1 orange, or like 8 grapes, that kind of things. Okay, so this fruit and vegetables actually having like fiber, okay, for digestive, and also contain the antioxidants that will help you to also fight for the any oxidative damage that were happening inside your body. Okay, and it also contain vitamin and mineral to prevent diseases. So that's why we recommend you to take vegetable and fruits every day, right? Not only like skipping, like today I want to take, tomorrow I don't want to take, right? Please choose fruit as your one of the snacking, okay? So that you can actually at least try to opt for healthy options. I mean like eating out, right? Taking out fruit and vegetable every day. And most of fruit and vegetable is also low in calories, right? So if you want to have a snacking just now around 10 a.m. or like 5 p.m. after this, right? Instead of you choose sweet beverages or sweet things, right? Like pancakes or any kind of things. I mean like high in sugar. Try to opt for fruits, so which is lesser calorie, so that you can also assist you in the weight loss or the fat loss. And the next food group is protein. Okay, so I think everyone know what are the food groups inside the protein. So actually, protein is one of the main. I think every food group is important. One of the important food groups, right? Which is protein like fish, chicken, meat, milk, yogurt, soybean is all under the protein groups, right? And it's very important for you to take protein sufficiently, right, to help you for the growth and development of your body and cells. And also, if you are taking protein, our body is actually taking about 25 more calories to process the protein that you eat just now. Okay, so it will also assist you in the weight loss if you're taking a sufficient proteins. Oh, the next question. Okay. Okay, now I know that I need to take a sufficient proteins, but how much protein that I should take for a day? So this is also a common question that I got. So actually it depends on your body weight. All right. It's very simple. So what is your body weight? Like mine is like around 50 kg. So if I want to maintain my muscles, okay, protein is actually much related to the muscle, building the muscle or maintaining the muscle. So muscle is very important for our body, right? So if you want to maintain the muscle, you should times with 1.0 and you get the amount of the muscles that you protein that you should take in order for you to maintain the muscle mass. Okay, but if you are someone who are doing exercise, right? Such as if you are the higher the intensity of the exercise, the more intake of protein that you should take, and that will be helping you to increase your muscle mass. Okay. So this is example. If let's say my weight is just now 50 kg, so I should times with 1.0. I just want to maintain my muscle as for now. So you can actually, this is some of the guidance on how much protein that each food carried, right? So if you can see like the chicken breast, lean chicken breast is around 28 grams. So if let's say mine is 50 grams, that I should take for a day to maintain my muscles. So I should take like at least two chicken breasts for a day. Okay, and maybe like one egg for my breakfast. So that will sum up becoming 50 more than 50 grams. So that means I am sufficient in terms of my protein intake. Okay. In case you are not really aware about, I mean like know about the portions of how much portions of protein that you should take. So you can actually use your palm. Okay, so this palm is actually roughly the size of the protein that you should take for a day, right? And for you can also use your hands, okay, as a guidance for the rice. Okay, so this is the 1 cup of rice, which is equivalent to 1 servings, right? So we have talked a bit about the nutritions, right? Now the next question is, can we just lose fat or weight and build the muscles, right, without exercise? So the second components that we should also take note is actually exercise, all right? At least as I mentioned just now, we should do like 30, like around maybe like one day you can do like 30 minutes of exercise for 5 days a week. That will be sufficient if you want to maintain your health, wellness. Okay. Okay, if you are someone who want to lose the body fat, is it possible to lose the body fat throughout the diet only without exercise? So the answer is no. It may be yes for some people, but may lose the weight but not maintaining the muscle. Okay, because our body is actually not only weight. Okay, our body is actually consists of muscle, fat. This is what we call as a body compositions. Right, it's very important for you to also monitor your body compositions. Right, if you are not aware about your body composition and you just do a regular diets and recommendations by random people, maybe you will lose the muscle as well. Okay, so muscle is very important for our body functions like movements, as a glycogen storage to store your glucose, and other things that is actually helping with your strength and endurance of body. Okay. So if let's say you are just controlling your diet without exercise, you may actually reducing the weight and fat, but not it won't be that much. And you may actually your weight may be stagnant for some times, and you will start wondering, is it my diet and exercise is not working? So it's actually you should know your body composition so that you can monitor whether the diets and the exercise that you do is actually suitable or not. Okay, and exercise is also important to maintain the muscle. So muscle is actually the otot that you have, right? So once we are aging, once we increase our age like 1 year older, we will actually losing around 1 to 2% of muscle. So that's why if we see our grandparents, they are actually becoming weaker once they are getting older, because they are actually aging, and they start to losing the muscles. Okay, so that's why it's very important if you are still in your 20s, 30s, or like 40s. you should start doing some exercise so that you can actually maintaining or building your muscle for future use. Okay, so when we're talking about the exercise, okay, so I won't be talking about so deep about exercise because I'm also not a fitness trainer, but roughly I may actually recommend you to few type of exercise that you may do together with the nutrition just now. The first type is actually aerobic exercise, which is endurance exercise. So this exercise is actually more to body movement, so which is pumping your heart faster and yeah, more to the endurance of your body. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's recommended to at least do 30 minutes of exercise and aerobic exercise for a day so that it will actually limiting the risk of chronic diseases, weight gain, and also obesity. Okay, so the next question is it sufficient to do aerobic exercise only? So the answer is not really. Okay, so try to opt for strengthening and add up strengthening and endurance exercise, right? So it's actually will helping you to increase the flexibility, strength, and also muscle endurance, right? So if you want to increase or maintaining your muscle and not losing it as you aging, try to add up strengthening exercise like push up, or maybe like you can actually go to YouTube and you can search for like a strengthening exercise that you want to do from the YouTube. So at least around 2 to 3 times per week. Okay, try to do it, right? So in case, let's say I give you example, you are jogging for 30 minutes. Okay, after you jog, you can try to continue with this strengthening and endurance exercise for another 15 to 20 minutes more. Okay. So by that, you may actually improve your muscle mass, which will assist you in the body strength. Okay. So why actually we need the muscle that I mentioned just now. So it's more to the physical strength. Okay. But one thing that will actually the importance of improving the muscle is actually to reduce the risk of diabetes. Okay, why I said so, right? Because one of the function of the muscle inside our body is for the glycogen storage. So glycogen is actually a form of glucose that being stored. All right. So for example, I give you example, like you were just eaten your lunch just now. Okay, you take your your meal for your lunch, right? So the food, I mean like the food that you are eating just now will be used as an energy for your body. But of course, you will not use all energy, all the glucose at that time. Okay, once you are eaten, there will be like excess glucose will be stored after that. So where this glucose will be stored is actually one part will be your muscle just now. Okay, so if let's say you are someone that have very low muscle or tart, okay, so where this glucose will go to? I mean like it will just lingering around your blood vessels. Okay, so for those that having the low muscles, and when the glucose is high in the blood vessels, then a hormone called as insulin unable to control anymore the glucose and will result in an insulin resistance high or diabetes. Okay, that's why if you went to diabetic clinics at the clinic kesihatan or hospitals, there will be two group of people with the diabetes. One would be the obese, right, with the height weight, and the second group would be those who are skinny. That could be one of the reasons why they have diabetes. Okay. So I have shared two components of the better wellness. So I think I have another like 50 minutes left. So there are the third components that I would like to share for the health management is actually related to the stress. Right? I think I have mentioned earlier that being stressed is okay. All right, it's good to activate your body, but being overstressed, too stressed is not good. All right, because if you're very stressed, it will increase the chances to have chronic diseases as well. So why I said so, right? So this is all based on the research of scientific papers. First, if you are very stressed, you are unable to control your stress level anymore, then it may actually reducing your immune systems, right? Our immune system. Okay, especially in this COVID era, we should actually strengthen our immune system. We should stay positive, right? So if you are overstressed, it will actually reducing a cell called as a T cell. T cell is very important to fight for any radiation, any infections. If you are stressed, it will reducing the T cells, and that will also increase reducing your immune systems, because T cell unable to help to protect your immune systems. Okay. Second thing is increase the risk of chronic diseases. All right. So being in a chronic stress also lead to building of plaque at your blood vessels, right? Which we call atherosclerosis. It will be building up the plaques, right? And if you are someone who continuously overstress, and also combining with not not really cautious about your diet, it will double up the chances to get the chronic diseases, right? And the third thing is also increasing the body fat, all right? So when you are actually, even though you are just an acute stress, not really very, very stressed, it will also release a hormone called as cortisol hormone, right? That when you are feel stressed, it will be released, cortisol will be released, and will increase your appetite, right? So you will tend to eat, craving for sweet things, right? You would craving for like donuts or those kind of things, right? And when you are eating more sugary things, sugary foods, it will also increase the chances to be overweight and also increase chronic diseases numbers. Okay, so why actually how actually stress will impact your food choice, all right? So I will give you one situations, right? So you actually like working from home. I'm not sure if some of you is still working from home, right? So when we're working from home, we will be like, quite stressed with sometimes with things, with a lot of things, you know. Then, I want to eat. Then the next thing is you feel like, I need something to comfort me, right? Right, I want to reward myself or something like that. Okay, you are already stressed or being stressed. So food can actually be a comforting mechanisms, all right? So when you are stressed, your brain will actually release a happy hormone. When you are eating those kind of a junk food or sugary foods, it will actually trigger the release of happy hormone from your brain, all right? But if you are continuously releasing this happy hormone from your brains, it will be not healthy for your gut and also for your cell systems. Okay, so yeah, that's actually the physiology. The background of why when you are stressed, you are eating more, because when you are eating, they will be releasing happy hormones, will be comforting you. But in the long term run, you'll feel regret, like, oh, why I eat like so a lot of donuts just now. Okay, for example. Okay. So here are like some tips for you if you are like being in stress, you have a projects coming, so you need to complete all in the between the due dates, right? So to avoid you becoming overstressed, try to manage the stress proactively, right? So you need to find out what would be the causes of your stress, right? Maybe you can write like you can actually go back to the initial plans and think carefully. Be in the situations that you should think like, okay, how should I overcome these situations, those kind of things, managing your stress proactively, right? And fuel yourself, right? Do not skip any meals, because some people that I know tend to actually skipping their meals when they have like projects or being stressed. So that's not good. You still need some energy for your brain and for your body. Okay, and also to boost your energy level inside your body so that you can function. Your body can function and your brain can also function. And take a time out. So if you feel stressed, okay, try to stop for a while for the things that you are being stressed with, and then calm yourself, find a hobby, and then it will actually helping you from being overstressed. Okay. So we have come to the last part of the sharing, which is related to the fourth components of health management, which is your sleep, right? Who doesn't like sleep here? Is everyone? I think everyone like to sleep, right? If you have like ample time in the weekend, just take a nap like 2 to 3 hours, right? So, but however, some of us also who really hardworking employee tend to actually ignore your sleeping time. Okay, so that's also not good, right? Because if you are someone who wants to be healthier, if you are dieting, sleep is very, very important. Okay, and an adult should actually having at least 7 hours of sleep per night. Okay, so this is based on research, right? So if you're someone adult, I mean like all of us adult here, more than 18, so we should have more than 7 hours for a day, right? So if you have children, like kids, children's, their sleep time will be much longer compared to us because they are growing, so they need sleep more than adults, right? And if you have children, if you already have a children, please make sure your children also have a sufficient sleeps, right? Because some of the children that I met, who are actually like underweight, right? Underweight, stunted, uh, wasted, they tend to have a shorter sleep time compared to healthy kids, right? Why sleep is very important? Okay, so if you are someone who, let's say you are not sleeping, you are stay up for the night, let's say playing games or that kind of doing some works, right? If you are not sleeping enough, you will actually increasing one hormone called as a ghrelin. Ghrelin is actually the hungry hormone. So if you stay awake, okay, you will actually tend to eat more compared to those who are sleeping, right? So with that, that's why some of my friends who actually like tend to like stay out of the night, they will actually complain to me that, oh, I have increasing my body weight. So why? Because of this hormone called as a ghrelin will stimulate high intake of food, right? So you will tend to overeating. Okay. And sleep is also important for the growth and development, right? And if you are having a deep sleep, it will also trigger the body to release the hormone that will promote the growth, including the muscle growth, right? So if you doesn't have a sufficient sleep, then the hormone may not be released. Okay, let's say if you just take like 4 hours of sleeps for the night, if you stay up, then it will actually not really promoting the growth of this hormone. No, the hormone won't be released. Okay, and third, okay, why is the muscle important? Is for a better immune system, of course, because if your immune system relies on the sleep to stay healthy. Okay, so make sure you have a good sleep so that your body can also defend from the harmful substance. Okay, and for a better day. Okay, if you're having a good sleep, it actually will make your next day become better, right? And it will also improve your productivity at the work. Okay, so there are also some tips if you are someone who actually having a hard time to sleep, right, at the night. Okay, maybe you can actually try to eat your meals around the same time for the day. So if let's say before this you eat, if you are someone who eat the dinner at 8 p.m., try to maintain 8 p.m. or around 9 p.m. every day. So not like 8 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. is not consistent. Try to make the eating time is almost the same for every day, right? And try to limit your nap time during the day to 30 minutes or less. It's not 2 to 3 hours, right? Maybe you can take it in a while, but not every day take like 4 hours of nap. We are not babies, right? So try to limit your nap time, all right? And stay healthy, stay active, right? Try to do exercise every day so that your body, once your body or you have done the exercise during the day, you will sleep earlier, right? And yeah, will sleep better as well. Okay, limit your caffeine intake, especially if you want to sleep like around 2 hours, 1 hours after that, right? Try to limit the caffeine intakes. And try to go to the bed at the same time every night and get up at the same time every morning, even on the weekends, right? So with all these tips, I hope that you may actually improve your night sleeps and all of us may be better in terms of our wellness. Okay, so this will be the last part. Okay, so a question of how to monitor your how you can monitor your health and body fat. So I think I have mentioned earlier that we are actually InBody, so we are specialists in body composition analyzers. So this actually can measure your body fat, your muscles. So with that, you can actually know how much is what exercise that you should do, whether it's actually suitable for you or not, and you can actually customize the eating plans and also the exercise plan according to your body compositions, your muscle and body fat. So if you know your body compositions, you will actually, if you know body compositions, then you may actually custom a different exercise plan or eating plan compared to another people. Okay, if you are someone who have a very low muscles, like in the under category, then you should do more in terms, you should increase the protein intakes, and you should actually incorporate together the strengthening endurance exercise for the day. Okay, but if you are someone who have a high body fat, then there will be different plan for you, which is you should actually limiting the food intakes, right? And also at the same time improving the muscles. Okay, so every people will actually having different how to say, different type of exercise and recommendations depending on your body compositions. Okay. So inside the InBody result sheets, if I think we were going to conduct some head screening day at some of the companies by this week and next week. So actually, once you already get your InBody result, you already know your muscle and fat. You will also know how much is the weight, right? The recommendation weight and the recommendation nutrient intakes, right? Together with the exercise recommendations that being customized for everyone. Right, so the InBody result will actually customize the results based on your body conditions. Okay, so I think that's all for the sharing for this afternoon. I hope it is beneficial to everyone. And please share if you find the information is beneficial. Please share with your friends and families. Okay, thank you so much for joining this session. Do you have any questions from the floor?
Hi, Miss Nazira. Thank you so much for a very insightful talk. In fact, we actually have an overwhelming response of questions coming from the floor. However, because of the time constraint, we'll probably just pick one or two. But perhaps Miss Nazira, maybe later on, we will send a copy of the questions in a PDF, and then once you type it in, we'll send it by PDF to everyone via email and Telegram so that they can be updated on their questions. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure, no problems.
All right. So I think I will pick a few questions over here. So it's regarding about the sleep. So if let's just say you have 7 hours of sleep, but it's not a good sleep, will that have an impact?
Oh, okay. You mean like the question is, if I rephrase again the questions, you have 7 hours of sleep, but sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night?
Perhaps it's more talking about the deep sleep. So it's not really having enough deep sleep.
Okay, so actually based on research, there's like a few importance of having deep sleeps, means that you are really well rested. Okay, because I think if like you are someone who like you having like a long hours of sleep, but you are not into the deep sleep mode, right? So you won't actually I mean like the beneficial of the sleeps won't actually get fully. So sometimes like if you are not like sleep I mean, like you are not into the deep sleeps, then as I mentioned just now, it will release some hormones that will actually not stimulating the growth, right? And yeah, that's why we should actually go into the deep sleep mode, like around 4 to 5 hours, if I'm not mistaken. Then you will have the deep sleeps. And yeah, for a full beneficiation of your sleep time at the night, right? So make sure you have completing the 6 to 7 hours for an adult.
All right, thank you. So the next question is plant protein better than non-plant protein? And what about protein shake? Are they good for health?
Oh, this is one of the good question, right? So yeah, because actually if you're talking about the animal protein and the plant protein, so animal protein like the meat, chicken, fish, while the plant protein is like nuts, right? Yeah, what else? Legumes, all of these food are fall under the plant protein. So in terms of the protein amount between the animal protein and the plant protein is actually the same. Okay, so for one serving, it will be around 7 grams of protein for both plant and animal protein. But the difference would be the fat content in the animal protein and the plant protein. Okay, so obviously, if you opt for a plant protein more, the level of the fat and the cholesterol will be lesser compared to the animal proteins, right? As we know, our meat also containing, I mean, like animal protein also containing some level of body fat, right? Some level of the fat, okay, compared to the plant proteins. Okay, so the second question just now is regarding the protein shakes, is it?
Yes. Is it good for health?
It actually depends on what type of protein shakes that you are taking. Is it like whey proteins, or it actually depends also on what is your goals. Okay, if you are someone who want to improve increasing your muscles, like you're taking like a whey proteins, so whey protein is actually stimulating the anabolic hormone inside your body. So if you are taking like the whey proteins, all right, before you exercise, it may actually assist helping with the muscle building, which is good. Okay, but before you taking the protein shakes, any kind of a protein shakes or protein supplements, I think you should be also aware that not everyone need protein shakes, right? Because if you are someone who have like certain condition, like I mentioned just now, like kidney disease, so it may not be suitable for you, right? So before you taking any kind of supplements, please consult with the professional, maybe at the pharmacy or even at the clinics. Okay.
All right, thank you, Miss Nazira. So I believe that is it for today's session. There is quite a lot of questions, but I'll be sending it to your side as well. And also, on behalf of PMCare, thank you so much for joining us and agreeing to speak in our event. So for everyone, I guess we can give one last applause for Miss Nazira, like with all the chat box or perhaps a clap in the emoji reactions in the Microsoft Teams. So yeah.